What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Cornelia, back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Hey, y'all, what's up? Welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Like said in the intro, welcome back to another week of Black News. I'm happy to be chatting with you all. I feel like, it's a lot going on, but nothing at all. Not much to talk about, but I know it's stuff that we need to talk about. And honestly, when I'm going through the topics for this week, I'm not even sure if I'm hitting everything or missing something. I really feel like I'm missing something, but we just gonna keep it going, keep it pushing, and make it do what it do. Okay. No real updates on the Nolan Wells case. I'm not sure if I came back here and discussed the autopsy that was released, the independent autopsy that was released a couple of weeks ago. I think I did, but if I didn't, y'all know Ben Crump and them sent Nolan Wells' body to Washington, D.C. to have an independent autopsy. The independent autopsy results were released, and a lot of it was inconclusive. A lot of pending items were put out into the media. People had a lot to say about it. Personally, I think it was strategic. For example, and I know I'm coming in hot with the Nolan Wells, but we're gonna get right into it because y'all don't got a lot of time on this podcast, and it's important. And again, I'm not sure if I recapped it, so I'm gonna just do a quick. The independent autopsy, they mentioned how the body was received, but there were certain things that were not included, like the throat, I believe, the lungs, and there was something else, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it's been a while since I reviewed it, and people were online saying that they shouldn't have released it if it was inconclusive. Why did they do that? They should have waited till they had all the facts, and this wasn't helpful, and it's just gonna cause trouble. Just a lot of stuff. Personally, what I think it does, I think it publicly puts Mississippi officials on notice, because if we did not, and if no one knew that Nolan's throat was not included when it was received for the independent autopsy, as well as any other body parts, we would not be able to publicly hold them accountable for when they finally do release the results. And that has not been addressed. They're not going to be able to hide. Right now, it's a public call out. So that was a couple weeks ago. Recently, there was audio released from the towing company. A Black woman uh, enhanced the audio, used her gifts and her talents in the world of audio to enhance the background audio. And it sound like, allegedly, you can hear the kids in the background, the young adults in the background talking about, oh my God, Nolan, is he dead? Oh my God. So that was most recent. The family is continuing to advocate and speak out for Nolan. Ben Crump and his law firm is continuing to keep this in the front of people's minds. They y'all know Ben Crump is a bruh. He a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. He went with the family to their conclave. They had an opportunity to advocate while they were there, as well as him going to like the NAACP conference and other places. So no real updates, no arrests, nothing has been happening except us, the public, still pushing this conversation forward, which I hope we continue to do, right? Other things have been going on. Child election rigging. We've been talking about that. They're going to rig the election. Yeah, we cooked. Okay. Hey, man, that's been going on, which we told y'all. Okay. If anybody at this point is confused, we told y'all this. Members of the Red Hat still tweeting about it. They saying we got a solution to the election. We haven't heard from the Democratic governors about what they plan for. What's their plan for election? We don't know if they have all met continuously. They need to set up a bi-weekly meeting, all of them governors, and talk about things that they are putting in place, what they have heard, what research has told them, what investigations have told them, so they can all lock in. I doubt that they doing it because clearly, but they're gonna rig the election. That's another thing going on. And overall, it's just been, when it comes to it being summertime, a lot of entertainment industry chatter and happenings and movement, which is what the bulk of this podcast episode is going to be about, right? I want to get into an update on Blade, specifically talking about Mahershala Ali. And then I also want to revisit the conversation that we had some weeks ago about the children of blood and bone. So, with that said, let's get right into those topics. So, to do a quick recap, because I talked about this weeks ago, maybe months ago, and honestly, sometimes we don't have a chance to listen to every podcast episode and keep up. Y'all might be jumping straight into this episode, so y'all don't know what the heck. And if you're not chronically online like your girl, you really don't know what the F. So, to recap, the movie Children of Blood and Bone, which is based off of a graphic adult fantasy novel by Tommy Adeyemi. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I'm so sorry if I got that correct. It is being adapted into a movie that is set to be released in January of 2027. It is Afrofuturism. The cast is stacked with all of our black heavy hitters in Hollywood. Okay, you got Regina King, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Idris Elba, Viola Davis, Damson Idris, Cynthia Erivo, Mandela Steinberg. I mean, if they in a movie, if they do some acting and can do an African accent, they probably in the movie. Okay, they probably in the movie. It is directed by the legendary Gina Prince Bythewood, and it's highly anticipated. This is one of those movies, especially when you in LA or in LA or Holly or New York or just any creative hubs, and you are around other entertainers or artists. This is one of those projects that everybody is keeping an eye on. One, because it's so big, right? Two, because it's a black film, and a lot of times we know this, black films like this don't get made. But also, it is a testament to how far we have come as people, consumers, and creatives. So we locked in. The book series, I believe it is 3 books. I haven't read the books. Okay, I ain't read the books. But when the rights to this got picked up, people are automatically saying, okay, this could be a trilogy, because if this movie does well, it could literally set up a 3-part series. See what we did with Hunger Games, right? This could literally, it's not the same type of content, but we've seen what could take place, right? You got the Divergent, Hunger Games. What's the one with the vampire with the pale vampire with the y'all know Twilight. Oh my God. Not because of the content, but I'm talking about those young adult series that turn into these box office smashes. So, again, highly anticipated. It is, I'm going to put an asterisk by this. It is being produced under the Paramount umbrella. And we all know, and I'm saying we all, just assuming y'all listen to Black News or y'all be really cued in on what's happening with the studio system. There was a bidding war between Netflix and Paramount trying to secure the rights to Warner Brothers. Well, Paramount Skydance is headed up by a Red Hat supporter. They are in. They are full on trying to turn all of their media entities eventually into Red Hat leaning content networks. So this being under Paramount is already kind of right. It is, but the movie is made. They doing screenings. We about to start getting trailers. We got the trailer. It looked gooder than a mug. Now with that, from what I gather, based on some light research, Tommy Adeyemi, who is the writer of the series, was co-writer on the script, and I believe she also got a producer credit, right? She was involved in the casting. And again, I believe this is true. So I'm going to say allegedly, allegedly. She was involved in the casting, which is a great deal because one thing Hollywood going to try to do is box you out of your own content. Okay? One thing they going to try to do is make sure that you sign your book away and beat it. They don't want your input. They don't want no script. They don't want no note. They don't want none of that. However, considering that, and again, allegedly, I believe this is the case, but if it's not, I'm so sorry, that she was a part of these processes, that is a really, really huge accomplishment, especially for a Black person. So, throughout this whole process, it appeared earlier in talks of the movie and pre-production and all of that that everything was it was okay. Okay, everything was a-okay. Didn't hear no beef, didn't hear no conflict. Now, a couple months ago, like I mentioned on Black News, the author posted some cryptic um Insta story videos and clips of some what looked like some drama brewing, right? Looked like her and Amanda, one of the cast members, was getting into it. She told Amanda, keep my name out your mouth, don't mention me at all. Tommy said she don't want nothing to do with the movie. She ain't promoting. Don't ask her, don't say nothing. And that was all she said. Nobody had no insight. It wasn't no update. She didn't elaborate. So people are already like, dang, well, now what's going on? Now what? And not now what in regards to her, but now what in regards to they're feeling like it's always some type of like scandal associated with big box office Black movies. I feel like it's always something like coming in and just trying to blow up the spot before something comes out. But with this, we're like, man, something must be going on. What does this mean? Is it an internal beef? She got beef with the cast. Did somebody do her wrong? Should we go support it? Should we not support it? All of those questions were being posed, right? This story blew up. Everybody grabbed a hold of it. So rightfully so, people were still kind of, little curious, but hey, business as usual. Then the trailer dropped. Either she made a statement and posted a video to her social media, and I'm not 100% sure if this was right before the trailer dropped or right after. However, both of those things happened around the same time, which put this back into the news and back into the forefront of social media chatter, which now has people questioning, should they even support the movie? So I'm going to play the video clip and then we're going to talk about it. Now, granted, I'm going to warn y'all, if you hadn't listened to it, it is long. It ain't really long, like from a time perspective, but it feels long. Once we get going, you're going to see what I mean. So just bear with me. If you already heard it, just going to skip past. Okay. But I'm going to play the whole video. And if it sounds choppy, she took the video down. So I'm playing it from somebody else stripping the audio before it got took down. So, hey, keep fingers crossed. Okay. But we're going to play the audio right now. I'm going to post this so ideally I won't have to talk about this anymore. And what I'm about to share is not a secret to the people involved. It's a reality that I've had to live with for about a year and a half. And everyone involved, at least at the highest level, has been made aware of this reality. And they haven't done anything to make it better. If anything, they've only antagonized me. And I accept that. But I also accept if I don't say something,
I think it's just going to be worse. I'm not going to speak on what I endured to make it through the young adult trilogy. And I'm not going to speak about everything that I also suffered through or endured to make the adaptation a reality. I'm actually only going to speak about what happened after I left that set of my own film adaptation, hyperventilating and sobbing. And there are many witnesses, so it's not really a secret. I came back to America and suffered such severe somatic pain and so many panic attacks. And I knew it was so bad that I would never, ever be able to watch this film. And I made peace with that. But as it is being marketed, and as I am still being antagonized behind the scenes, which is where I hoped all of this would stay, it's become apparent to me that that reality needs to at least be made known so that you guys can understand how this film, which I worked on to make it a little better for us to be alive, is also the worst thing I have ever had to live through. And I don't wish to speak on it anymore. I don't know if that's possible. I understand that I have a public presence and that this is a global project. It's probably useless posting a video. I really don't know. I don't do things like this. But I also understand that being silent about it is making the pain a lot worse. And even though it feels awful to share this, it's better to share it and have it known and understood before I see a bunch of you for this new book. So please understand, I never want to hear about this project again. I don't have anything to say about the people who made it. I do not care anymore. I'm trying to move on. This video might make it worse, but I don't know how it can be any worse. So I'm just going to share that and let it live.
Okay, so let me start because I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas, and it's very challenging when we don't know what happened. And after listening to the video, I can only speak for myself. I still don't know what happened or what she's talking about. So let me start by saying I really hope that she is okay. I hope that she is finding ways and opportunities to heal or to work through the difficulties that she's experiencing. I hope she is finding resources and has surrounded herself with family or friends or being in spaces that can help her navigate through this challenging time. And I'm sorry that she is dealing with this because again, she sounds like she is in distress, right? If you listen to the video and you watch the video, because there's a video portion, not just audio, she looked like she really struggling and going through something. So I hope that she okay. But with that said, and I'm going to lightly ease into this, right? With that said, I'm kind of annoyed. And this is why. If you, and I don't know how old Tommy is, but I'm assuming that she is, let me see, how old is she? Because I'm trying to figure out where she falls on the spectrum of age and generations. She's 33 years old, which means, and she is really young. You know what? Now that I see this, this really adds another layer to this for me. Okay. Yes. She and us elder millennials, people who are, Gen Z, we grew up in a time where we understand the impact of social media and what it can do. Right. And I'm not saying that Gen X and baby boomers can't, but we are seeing and living in real time what can happen based on social media and something being on social media. So a part of me being like, I'm kind of annoyed by this because she mentioned maybe she shouldn't post this and she don't want to talk about it. Girl, by posting the video, that means it is going to be talked about. And that means you are going to keep hearing about it. And that means this isn't going to go away. And that means people are still going to present this to you. And when you go on a book tour for your new movie, somebody is going to bring it up because people don't have boundaries and they don't have respect and they don't care. So at this point and at our ages, we know what happens once something hit the social media streets. So I am confused by people who grew up with social media not recognizing that. And again, all of this I'm speaking from my perspective. These are just my thoughts around all of this. I do not know this young woman. But when I saw the 33 years old, I was immediately brought back to who I was in my creative space in my early 30s in Hollywood, dealing with Hollywood. Because some of what she said, it sounds like the creative was in conflict with her vision. And I'm reading between the lines. I'm trying to piece it together, but that's one thing that I feel like I'm picking up, that what she thought and what was coming out wasn't the same thing. And when you are young in your Hollywood career, you often, and I'm speaking for myself because this may not be the case for others, but you sometimes put in a situation where the curtain is pulled back, the wool is pulled from it, the front of your eyes, them rose colored glasses are taken off, and you really see how Hollywood is and how the game is played and how these people be acting, how studios treat people, how opinions are discounted and discarded, how all of these are taking place. We even saw when Beyonce did the Renaissance of a movie, there was one segment where she's Beyonce Knows Carter. This is her tour. She has been touring since she was 16 years old, was having a real life debate with a man in production about a light kit or a light system. Him telling her what wasn't possible, like she didn't know what she was talking about, where she had to literally pull up the proof and be like, I literally just saw it. What you telling me it ain't possible? He was literally challenging her on her own set. And I throw that example in there because she is a 43, 44-year-old woman. Tommy is 33, with her book being optioned and turned into a large studio production. I'm wondering if she learned some lessons on that set that people shouldn't have to learn in their creative career, especially as a Black woman. Okay. So I'm wondering if this was a part of it. Is what she expected, what she wrote is not coming out or shot the way or edited the way she envisioned it. Okay. Okay. So I'm just putting that out there. Maybe that's the case. But going back, because one thing studios also do, they put everybody on the NDA. Everybody on the NDA. You can't talk about nothing. You signed it. You can't say nothing. And based on how she was like framing this, I'm giving the impression that there's only so much that she can really talk about without fear of repercussion. And if that is the case, or even if she's not on the NDA and was still kind of like, I don't want to say too much, but I want to make sure y'all get the point. But I don't want to, sometimes, baby, you can't say nothing. If you can't say nothing, you, hey, because two things can happen. You can be reprimanded, or if you don't care about the reprimand, but you say something, people still misunderstood because the video went viral and everybody still know what you're talking about. And now, in your effort to try to end the conversation, you continue the conversation because now we really don't know what happened, and we're gonna be asking what happened all the way up until the movie comes out. So if you can't say it, sometimes you just can't post it. Now, I can't tell people what to do. The spirit moves you, right? And I don't know what she going through. Again, we just trying to piece this together. But if you can't say, hey, you can't say it. Okay. But again, it sounds like she is really having a difficult time with all of this. And then she mentioned like things that she suffered through. She was having panic attacks. That is really challenging. And again, I wonder if it was about the creative. I wonder if that's what it was. But I think overall at this point, and I don't want to think this way, right? I'm just going to say these things and I don't know. And I'm just saying it. I wonder because stuff like this has now caused a discussion where people are like, maybe I shouldn't see the movie at all. If she going through it, I shouldn't see it, right? Some people are like, I can't support the movie now. I can't because it sounds like something really bad happened and I can't support it. You have some people being like, I don't know what happens. I'm going to still see the movie, which is an unfortunate situation for all of us to be in, especially when we just don't know what went down. So I'm wondering, like, let's say I am so disappointed with how things were. I was mistreated. All of these things happened. Oh, I just can't. Let me now say this right around when the trailer came out. Let me do the so people may not go see the movie. Like, is that what we is that? I don't know. But this is now back at the top of the news. And I feel bad for her because, like I said, this ain't gonna stop people from talking about it. And I fear, based on how people be carrying themselves and acting crazy on social media and in public, people gonna be coming up to her, asking her about this. They ain't gonna know how to help themselves. Girl, what happened with that with the movie? Girl, what they did? Girl, what? I saw your video. She ain't gonna never get away from this. She's never getting away from this. They ain't gonna never leave her alone. When she go on a book tour for her next movie, for her next novel, this gonna be the number one question. And if she ain't got PR or a strong armed management team, they not gonna be able to field them questions or shut it down before it even happened. It's gonna be a nonstop. What happened? What had happened was, which sucks because it sounds like per her, she don't want to deal with that. So here we are. Now, for me, this is a very difficult discussion because y'all know I fool with me some Gina Prince Bythewood. She directed the movie. She one of my favorite directors. I support Gina Prince Bythewood. Some of my favorite movies she been behind. Love and Basketball, Beyond the Lights. Hey, say what you want. That's a good dang movie. Okay. Woman King. I was locked in. As soon as I heard that she was signed on, I didn't read the books. I was locked in because of her. So now I'm like, well, dang, if all of this happened, do I still support? Where I'm standing today, yes, I'm going to see the movie until I hear specifically about what took place. I'm going to see it. So I don't know what else to do. But with that, what do you guys think? Okay? What do you think about all of it? Because eh. And honestly, I don't think we'll ever get. I think it's now just gonna be super gossipy. Because even on the press run, when the cast is going doing press for this, they're gonna be asked about it. So now we never getting away from this. They're never gonna get away from this. Press run gonna start if the movie come out in January. Press run gonna start November because Hollywood shut down for the Christmas break. So from November on, here we go. But what y'all think? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts about it. You can find me at Canelia on social media. Okay, and lastly, I want to just quickly talk about what happened surrounding Mahershala Ali and the Blade remake that was supposed to be coming with Marvel Studios. So, y'all know, years ago, it feels like an eternity, at Comic Con, it was announced that Mahershala Ali was reviving the storied franchise Blade, which was previously held and played by Wesley Snipes. It's so exciting. Y'all know Marvel be putting out the phases. They had Blade slated for whatever year it's supposed to come out. Over the years, rumors, oh, the script ain't right. Something happened. We can't get it together. Some happened. The new director, we doing all this other stuff. Child, 7-ish years passed by and no Blade. Ruth E. Carter, who was the costumer for Blade, used a lot of the costumes for background actors on Sinners. Project Scrap. Mahershala Ali now on a press run for a movie that looked gooder than a mug called Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother, which is directed by the person who was supposed to be directing Blade. Now, with all that said, every time Mahershala Ali comes somewhere, they ask him about Blade. Everybody was anticipating Blade. And he gave a response that I feel like really nails down the situation, but also it just really, and not Mahershala's statement, the whole scenario really just pissed everybody off. And it really calls into question sometimes what Hollywood be doing. Because Mahershala, and I'm gonna read what he said, Mahershala Ali's interview, a piece of his interview from GQ magazine. But Mahershala Ali is a 2-time Academy Award winning actor. He is a leading man, one of the best actors out right now. Mahershala Ali be acting. You understand what I'm saying to you? He be acting. Again, 2 Oscars. He has done a variety of work going all the way back to when he was in Luke Cage, Hunger Games. What was the show on Netflix with when Kevin Spacey, before Kevin Spacey went downhill? He was on that. He was in just recently Jurassic Park. He had another movie on Apple TV. One for Moonlight, one for Green Book. I mean, Mahershala be acting, but a lot of times I know I'm one of those people and I'll be like, where's Mahershala Ali? Why isn't he acting in a lot of stuff? I'm wondering it's because Marvel had him on the hook for 7 years. Because sometimes one thing studios be trying to do, and I don't know if they did this, but some networks are known for trying to make you exclusive to their network and show so you can't do other work elsewhere. So let's say you on a show on HBO. They'll try to write into your contract that you can't do no other work with no competitors. So that means Hulu, Disney, Showtime, nothing. All you can do is work at HBO, even excluding like commercials and shit. Your team really gotta be, and your lawyers really gotta be in the weeds in these contracts, so they try to box you out of getting this money. Mahershala at the level in his career where he can avoid that, but I'm wondering if of a lot of reasons we haven't seen him do a lot of work, maybe because they had him on the dang hook. Again, I doubt it, but who knows? But it is just a shame that they had him and everybody sitting around waiting for something that ain't gonna happen. So let me just read this. The GQ interviewer said, "We've mentioned your mother connection to Blade throughout our chat, and Marvel boss Kevin Feige recently made headlines by declaring that he feels like a failure for not getting your film off the ground. Mahershala, are we any closer to Blade finally becoming a reality?" Mahershala, not with me. The best way I can answer this question is when I look at what is for me, is it what was either this or that, and I'll take this. No offense to them. I've been doing this professionally for pushing 30 years now, and one thing I've learned is that what is for you, and what is not is not. For whatever reason, the project is not for me. If they wanted me to do it, we would have done it. So I have to move on, and I have moved on. Your mother feels very much in alignment with the type of work I want to be known for. I don't really want to be known for remakes. I love to do original work that resonates with people and impacts them in unique ways. So I'm good. He laughs. Again, you had me under contract. They have billions of dollars. If they wanted to do the movie, we would have done the movie. So we're not doing the movie. When I look at this and Blade, I couldn't have done both. And the reason this even exists is because the project fell apart and Bassam had the time, space, energy, and focus to go and write this and then reapproach me. And I was able to use those skills that I have been working on for over a year training for Blade. In that way, I feel creatively redeemed on some level, just in my own journey between me, myself, and I. But I feel ready to move on from the Blade questions. Those questions are for them. They don't want to do it, so they should answer that question. Mahershala Ali, a grown man. Like, he is not like a little kid out here in Hollywood. He a grown man. And I think one piece that he said in here resonates, should resonate with a lot of people, regardless of what industry you in. If you talking about personal relationship, it don't matter. He said they got billions of dollars. If they wanted to make it, we would have made it. If they wanted to do it, we would have done it. They didn't want to do it. I wonder if Mahershala Ali, because I believe he approached them, was like, "Hey, what y'all think about doing Blade?" They got so excited, was like, "Yeah, let's do it." But in the back of their mind, it was like, mm. Some people are also pointing to how there is a lack of diversity in content within Marvel Studios. Allegedly. Hey, I'm just reading the paper, okay? I'm stating what people said. That when you look at the black and brown characters, where are they? Okay. Where they people was talking about how the new Captain America, Anthony Mackie, they ain't like that movie and he was paid dust. Where's Monica Rambeau, played by Tiana Parrish? We ain't seen her. Where the little brown girl from the Marvels? Where's she at? Now, granted, this could be addressed in one of them multiverse movies and shows that have been on, but there has not been an effort to continue to put certain content in the forefront. Ironheart, we saw what happened to that. Was no promotion, was no backing. They just quietly released it and watched it get review bombed by everybody who was mad that a little black woman was leading up a show. Shang-Chi ain't got no sequel. Every superhero who had a movie that did well within Marvel had at least 2 to 3 movies following up. Why hasn't Shang-Chi? Simu be on social media. Simu be on Threads. Damn, they're asking the same thing. Thor had like 3 to 4 movies. Iron Man had 3 to 4 movies. Captain America had like 3 to 4 movies. Loki had 2 seasons. Where is that? They treating Shang-Chi like he Black Widow. And Shang-Chi was gooder than a mug. So people are pointing to that. Then they point what happened to Blade. They point to all of these things and saying, it's when you really think about it, it's not surprising that Blade didn't get off the ground. So I just say that to bring it up because it's been a big topic, and also to help promote Mahershala Ali's new movie, Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother. He gonna be working with that sword. He doing some sword fighting. All the training that he did on Blade, he using it in this movie, and the previews look good. It's strategically placed to come out at the very top of awards consideration season. So I'm wondering if they are positioning this to be a part of the conversation. If it is good, y'all know I'm gonna be the loudest one talking about some. This is what I believe, because I'm gonna do the same thing I did last year and watch all of the nominated films so I can expertly report on what was the best. But yeah, that's what I got. So let me know your thoughts. Do y'all think they tried to sabotage Mahershala? Because that's what the street's saying. That's what they saying. Let me know. You can find me at Kennelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we gave an update on what was going on regarding the children of Blood and Bone. We also talked a little bit about the Blade remake that never was and went over some of Mahershala Ali's statements. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Kennelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is kennelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.